tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, mauaji tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki.
Jengo la 400 shenzi upiga moto tu. Jengo la
mahindi haya. Wanadai mahindi hayo kama mnavyoona eti ni mahindi. Maboksi yamejaa kura. Wanasema ni mahindi. Ndugu zangu, hii ndio Tanzania. Ndani na nje ya nchi. Watu wazidi kushuhudia. Hai gari imejaza maboksi ya kura. Inakuja kuingia wilayani na kutangaza kuwa mahindi. Mahindi haya. Wanadai mahindi hayo kama mnavyoona eti ni mahindi. Maboksi yamejaa kura. Wanasema ni mahindi. Ndugu zangu, hii ndio Tanzania. Ndani na nje ya nchi. Watu wazidi kushuhudia. Hai gari imejaza maboksi ya kura.
Mungu wa Mungu wa kila mtu atapata like. Utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, mauaji tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki, utekaja tutaki.
Fikiria kuandamana kwa siku ya kesho, watapata tabu sana. Nasema watapata tabu sana. Kipigo chake kitakuwa ni cha mbwa koko. Kwa hiyo na watahadhari au wanaofikiria kuandamana kwa siku ya kesho,
This is the story from the heart of the continent. In Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, the streets boiled today. Young people surged into the roads. Fires, barricades, a petrol station aflame. The authorities responded with curfews and the military on standby. Why? Because the election in Tanzania is more than a vote. The main opposition was barred, key candidates disqualified. The people sensed the process was being stolen. When hope is locked behind barred doors, desperation becomes the only key. Across the Gulf of Guinea, in Douala and Yaoundé, Cameroon shook under the weight of protest. Paul Biya, 92 years old, declared winner of yet another term. The opposition called the result a farce, an insult to the will of the people. Shots fired, tires burned, at least 4 dead, hundreds detained. The youth saying, "We will no longer accept your rigged certainties." Something bigger is in motion, what people across the region are calling the Ibrahim Traoré effect. A wave of impatience, of refusal to wait, of saying, not tomorrow, today. It's not just a man, it's a mindset spreading across African streets. So here are the questions pounding in the air. In Tanzania, when the internet is cut, curfews imposed, and the military walks the streets, who is really disrupting peace? The protesters or the state, choking the space of dissent? In Cameroon, when the vote is declared, but the people reject it, what legitimacy remains? Can a leadership that fears its own people still call itself sovereign? Across Africa, will the Traoré effect mean true change leadership accountable to the people, or just a reshuffling of old powers and new faces? This isn't about developing democracy like a project handed from outside. This is about self-determination, about Africans refusing to be silent spectators in their own destiny. The youth of Tanzania, The protesters of Cameroon. They are not isolated incidents. They are chapters in our story of rising. Rising because we will no longer accept being told to wait while our futures are leased out. To the leaders listening, if you think you can silence the streets with curfews and internet shutdowns, think again. The roar of a generation cannot be logged off. If you believe you can buy legitimacy with ballots stacked in your favor, think again. People see the strings. They feel the rope. This is Media One Africa, the voice of a rising continent. We don't report revolutions, we document them.
Unaona? Hii ni hadi ya magari ya Mwigulu Mchemba ya Esther. Yote watu wameyateketeza moto. Hapa ni kwa Mwigulu Mchemba. Kama unavyoona, hichi ni kituo cha kupiga kura. Hamna kupiga kura hapa. Watu tupo barabarani kule. Tupo barabarani kule.
2025. Tanzania stands on the brink of history. October 29. Tupo site, maandamano yameanza na hakika lazima tuandamane mpaka pale serikali itaposikia watu.
Mungu hajawahi kunipa uongozi. Mimi Mungu angenipa uongozi. Mungu angejaribu kunipa mimi uongozi. Yaani mngekuwa kutoka kuandamana. Cha moto mngekiona. Ningewafu.
Kama si mziki, Tanzania ingekuwa nyuma hata kushinda Rwanda.
Tunduma unaisikia? Una historia na Tunduma? Tunduma. Mimi hii ni live. Ni live ya TikTok. Siwezi kumposti. Siwezi kumposti tu.
Hamna kupiga kura hapa. Wao tuko barabarani kule. Tuko barabarani kule.
Hili ni gari la jeshi limefungiwa na rais wanashangilia. Hili ni gari la jeshi limefungiwa na watu. Hili ni gari la jeshi limefungiwa na watu. Hili gari la jeshi linashangilia na watu.
Greetings, everyone. Luxandot, I see you. Tracy, welcome, guys. Welcome. We're going to dedicate a few minutes of this morning to this Tanzanian protest. I am amazed by what the youths are doing in Tanzania. I kudos to them. My spirit is with them. I am wishing them very best. I hope they come out stronger and they're able to get what they want. That is my desire for them. So also Cameroonians are also still protesting. I'm going to bring it in at some point today as well. So yeah, so apparently this woman has fled the country. So the people, the election, you guys, today was the election. Or more people enter street. When they hear say they want rig the election. Now they enter polling unit. They damage every polling unit. They damage every, now they hear me, they damage every polling unit. So that they go polling unit to polling unit, they destroy all the materials. They say they don't want, they chant they don't want this woman again as president. That's what they've been chanting. Hey! Oh, well, I'm happy for them. I really am. Honestly, my heart is with them. Nigerians, let me play a video, and I hope that it really triggers Nigerians. That's my wish, really. You know, so let me play a video, and I really wish it to trigger. I want this. The purpose of it is to trigger Nigerians. I play this video for now. It's on my phone, so I have to hold on 1 second. Oh shoot, the volume. Sorry.
My comments talking about your father is Nigerians are some useless ass people. In my comments talking about your father is one of the people that destroyed Nigeria. Yes, I'm proud of it. I'm bragging because your useless ass parents let my stealing ass parents steal it. The fuck you gonna do about it? So I'm making this video right now because a couple days ago I uploaded a video talking about the role my dad played in Nigeria's history, and some famous Nigerian blogger reposted it, and a bunch of new people came in my comments, found me, and of that, I kid you not, there are at least 200 messages. I got more than 200, but at least 200 messages of people begging me for money, begging me for money, begging me for money. There's one that lives in Germany that wants me to bring his brother to America. I don't even know how the fuck y'all think. But there's a whole group that's in my chat talking about, oh, he's here bragging about his father's money. Your father's one of those that destroyed Nigeria. Yes. I'm bragging about it because your worthless ass parents sat the fuck back and let my stealing ass parents do what the fuck they wanted to do. What were your parents doing? They were sitting down in church. Oh, Holy Ghost fire, Igu better, Jesus will save us. The other ones were there. Imam, Ya Allahu Akbar, waking up at 2 in the morning. Instead of you to get up and do what the fuck you needed to do, no. So first things first, let's make something clear. I haven't seen my father since I was 20. I left my house at 20. The last time I set eyes on my parents, my own dad, was in 2000. The year 2000 was the last time I saw my father, in 2000. That picture I uploaded of the video I was talking about, that picture is the most recent picture I have of him. That's the most recent image I have of him. If he's older than that, I don't know. And that's one. Two, there is text messages between me and my father right now, I'm pretty sure in his phone, and where I get mad at him, and like, how am I going to explain it? I curse him out. And I know it's not something you want to hear from you hear from Nigerian parents. You know how many times I've texted that man, you have no right to talk to me. You're a thief. You've stolen Nigerian people's money. Yes, I am that child. But I am mad now because I realize, as mad as I am at my parents and my family and what they did, I'm looking at the other Nigerians, you people, and I'm realizing y'all are worse. Because I was 10 years old when my father became governor of Akwa Ibom, when Abacha took power. I was 10. I remember we went to government house. Since then, I started to see who Nigerians truly were. I started to see adult men, grown-ass men coming to me, Oga, Elabe. Fuck am I? A 10-year-old child? 11, 12, 13, 14, 18, 19? Elabe, Ogami. Why? Because my father stole your money? Instead of you to do the needful and stand up and get your shit back and fucking stand for your rights. No, you want to sit back, Ogami, you fucking worthless pieces of shit. And now the children of those people saying Ogami on my comment talking about your father's a thief. Yeah, because your father's a bum bitch that all he does is beg for shit that's supposed to be his. If you've been on Twitter during COVID, I was on Twitter during COVID. And this is how fucked up Nigerians are. My business was doing good around COVID. So I decided to start a community. I said, you know what? $250 a week is not going to hurt me. It's not going to kill me. So this is what I'm going to do. I decided every week I'm going to give one person $250 to start a business, a small business, something small in Nigeria, right? The idea here is we build a community that, we start to bring business or whatever. And then eventually the idea was, after a year of me doing that, the people that I had funded, who have received support, would have built their companies to where after a year they can chip in to my 250 so that we can build a community. Like, that was the plan. I brought the money. I did everything. The first person that won the fucking 250, they came with an idea, popcorn. I said, you know what, popcorn is good because a low entry barrier, like cost to start the business is cheap. But we did everything, business plan, got idea. I sent the 250. That motherfucker deleted their Twitter account. The first person I sent money to so we could start this business idea, so we could start this movement, took the 250, deleted their Twitter. Nigerians are fucking, so you're in my comments, your father is this, your father is this, so is your fucking father. And the worst part is, Nigerians don't want change. Nigerians want the opportunity to become the oppressors. Nigerians don't want, because you know what, I'm tired of this. All I'm here to say is, y'all are collective pieces of shit. Don't come in my comment talking about, I haven't seen that man in 20 fucking years. More than 20 years. But at the end of the day, the fact is the fact. God forbid he falls and dies today. I'm a rich motherfucker. The only way I got inheritance, it's your fucking taxes. I don't want him to die. There's no way I want my father to die. I want my father to live long enough to see what I'm going to become in life. I want him to live long and see my children, my grandchildren, if God willing. I don't want him to die. But the truth of the matter is, if today, God forbid, that man dies, I'm rich as fuck, it's your inheritance, and I ain't using shit on you motherfuckers because given the opportunity, none of you want, and Nigeria is a country of fucked up people who are blaming everybody else for the shit. I don't know. Y'all are collective pieces of shit. Don't come in my comment talking shit. Fuck you. You don't like it? Suck my dick. So the key takeaway.
Sorry, here is, I did not want you people to hear that part of it.
way you guys think. At age
hold
20,
on
I
one
left
second.
home. I'm the black sheep, as you could tell. Outside guy, dreadlocks, nose ring,
Wait,
all
did the video
outside guy,
finish?
dreadlocks, nose ring, outside guy, dreadlock,
Hold on.
outside guy, dreadlocks, nose ring, all of that. I'm definitely the black sheep, sorry. So the only thing your taxes did was send me to school. Now, the rest of my siblings, that's a completely different story. Those are the real Nepo babies, one. Two, I don't have money. I left home at 20. And since I left home, I swear on my life, I have not received a 10 cent, one kobo, let's use Naira, one kobo. My father's wealth, one kobo. Your government money, your taxes, one kobo of your money has not touched me since I turned 20, since I left my father's house. That's two. Three, y'all collective pieces of shit. You don't want change. You want the opportunity. I've seen it. You will be in a neighborhood. You see your neighbor who you lived with in the same neighborhood get up, run for office, buy 4 houses around his house, just break down his house, build a mansion, ignore the hood, and then fix only the road that leads to his house. And every time he comes home, oh God. In an ideal world, he does that. He just put a target on himself. Every time he burn him. Just don't hurt my family. We the good ones. But when you're ready for change, you won't sit on the internet in my DM begging me for money. When you're ready for change, you see Madagascar, you see. But the thing is, Nigerians are not going to do what needs to be done because y'all are all cowards. Every last one of you are collective cowards. You can, fella get live away your grandmama never fit touch. Y'all are cowards because what it takes to stand up and fight for your rights, you don't have what it takes. None of you, you're cowards. Y'all are some begging ass niggas. All you want to do is sit at home and beg. Holy Ghost fire, Jesus, give your pastor money. Worthless pieces of shit. So everything that's happening to you, you deserve it.
No lies told. I couldn't agree with him more. It is true. It is. It is true. You might not like it, but it is true. Yeah, it is true. I not feel blame the man. No. Lie. I can't blame him. Now Nigerians put themselves for this position. Yeah. Anyway, moving along. Who can I listen to this?
The government is 100% provably today complicit in genocide due to its treatment of the internally displaced. And so the terrorists came, killed a bunch of people, and dumped the bodies in their well. And this 6-year-old boy said they had to drink water with blood mixed in it. And so they finally were able to get out. A 6-year-old child. Nothing heavy there.
It's like, whoa, okay. Wasn't expecting all that. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is an exclusive interview that may shock many of you out there.
I almost tell the story in third person because it was not me, it was Christ in me.
Mike Arnold, who exposed the genocide in Africa, has now gotten close to 4 billion impressions on X.
What I just lived makes that look like a kindergarten story, and I'm not exaggerating. What I just experienced firsthand, being thrust into a room with northern mullahs who had said, of course we all celebrate when unbelievers are killed, and I'm in a room with them for a photo op. I was just brought over there as a PR stooge to parrot the party line, and when all the cameras were on me, I flipped the script and I told the truth.
And he may never be allowed to return to Nigeria, Africa again, which he considers his second home.
And I was advised that there was a measurable chance that I would not make it out alive. Before I left, I updated my will, and I had a farewell day with my family, and they knew that they might not see me again. But God used me and called me to go and speak that truth. And as of today, it's nearing, best I can tell, 4 billion impressions across all media.
This story,
Nigerians have made him famous.
It's one of the most significant moments the world has ever witnessed.
That within a matter of a couple days, it flipped the narrative from 80% denying genocide to 70% affirming. That's what God used this jackass to do. I haven't done this. If you understand the story step by step, it's been the leading of the Holy Spirit.
And I can't stress enough on how this interview is a must-see. If you two were in this together, Jeff Gibbs, the world wants to thank you right now because you probably saved millions of lives, both of you. This interview just, it blew me away. So grab yourselves a drink and you might want to watch this thing throughout. Welcome here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you all for joining us at the Speak As You Show. Please like, subscribe, click that notification button so we get information out, you get information in. We have with us here Mike Arnold, who has just been got back from Nigeria as he seemed to say, they were saying there was no genocide there. And now, if you don't know about this story, then you're living in a bubble. Your sources are, and I pray that you listen to what he has to say. I want to welcome you, Mr. Arnold. Thank you for everything you're doing. And would you like to tell us what's going on over there?
How long you got? It's a story for the history books. It's a story for the Bible, really, in the big picture. Most people don't realize Nigeria is the 6th largest nation on earth by population. It is rich in natural resources, in the trillions, they estimate. Not just the oil, it's one of the top 5 nations of OPEC, but its reserves of gold, lithium, tin, gemstones, rare earth elements. It should, by all intents and purposes, be a very wealthy, prosperous nation. It also, very importantly, the vast population, 200 million plus, average age is 18. So when you see reports that all the established, industrialized, premier nations on earth are aging and shrinking, like China is the worst, the one-child policy, where all of their CEOs and generals and leaders and all are getting retirement age, and there's more of them than there are people to support them in the workforce. And we have our baby boom problem here, which is bad. It's like that. Nigeria has the youth, it has the resources, and the people. I'm told, and I haven't verified this, but my first-hand experience confirms this, that Nigerians in the United States are the wealthiest and most educated group in the United States. They're amazingly brilliant people across the board. Whatever their hand finds to do, they do with all their strength, which is awesome, but it's also dangerous because they have the best hackers and the best scammers too. And that's the ones we hear about. We hear about the bad apples. That becomes the stereotype. Nigeria has a critical place in geography and in the future. What's happening there is literally a fight for the future of the world, not just a fight for some African nation. They are Nollywood, the Nigerian movie industry, is the 3rd biggest in the world behind Bollywood. Hollywood, it's coming on strong. You've watched Nollywood movies and shows, you don't even realize it. They're on the streamers, and their music their culture is vibrant, and it's contagious. They're rising in influence. The question is, who's going to control that population and their trajectory? Who's going to control their resources? Who's going to control their geography? And who's going to control their growing global influence? This is truly a spiritual battle for the kingdom come, not just in Nigeria, not just in Africa, but around the world. It's huge.
Wow. So you've been there, and I've seen some of your videos with the internally displaced people.
Correct.
And they're horrific. It's heart-wrenching. This is happening in more than one place. And approximately how many people do you think have been displaced?
Okay, so let's back up a little bit. So the displaced, I call it the displaced generation. These are people who have been driven off brutally, horrifically, traumatically, most unimaginable horror, driven off and violence and slaughter and torture and I mean, filming the decapitations of Christian men with dull axes so they can make social media recruitment videos, selling women and children into sex slavery. I mean, horrible, horrible stuff. These people have been systematically pushed out of their lands in the north. Interestingly, soon after, in a lot of these places, it's not long that you see the mountains of earth from the strip mining that they do underneath it. There's a huge blood mineral industry, black market mineral extraction that's taking place. The Nigerian government estimates $9 billion a year, and that's the government, with 10% of it, $900 million a year, going to fund terror and corruption. So that's part of the drivers, but as a result, their government denies it 100%. There's an acceptable number that they can't deny because all the international watchdogs, the lowest possible number they say is like 3.5 million people, predominantly widows and orphans. The government there calls them criminals and vagrants and beggars and homeless. There's no aid, there's no assistance, there's no recognition. And there's anywhere from legitimately from 4 to 10 million Nigerian people, innocent people, peaceful people, productive people, predominantly vast majority Christian people that are living as urchins that have no way to get out of it. And a lot of them, no telling how many, because there is no statistics, there is no recognition, but a lot of them are living in what I call IDP concentration camps. That's what they are. Mm-hmm. They're the concentration camps of the Nigerian Holocaust. They're international money and mandate to take care of any internally displaced person on earth. Anybody that's an IDP, same legal status as a refugee internationally, same legal status. IDP, refugee, the only difference is where they are. the world stands ready to support them, but the government won't recognize them because they are the eyewitnesses to genocide. There's a massive witness suppression scheme to grind down Christian voices, to silence eyewitnesses. And that's what the current government of Nigeria is doing to anywhere from 4 to 10 million of their citizens now. Because they're Christian, because they're not radical Muslims, let me put it that way.
Right. And
so, yeah, there's a few.
And what are the Muslims? I mean, I see Christians like yourself and others coming out and opening the box here, Pandora's box. It has been opened by people like you, but where does the Muslim community stand on this? Even the moderate Muslims, are they? Do they understand it, or are they agreeing with this?
That's an interesting question. So for example, I build schools in IDP camps in Abuja, the capital. Do all we can. I'm not a wealthy man, but with friends and family and sacrifice, we have 2 schools approaching 600 students in 2 camps. One of the camps is predominantly Christian, one is predominantly Muslim.
Okay.
My understanding, and it's fuzzy, but it's probably the IDPs and the victims are probably 80% Christian and 20% Muslim. And let me tell you how it works. It's an established and well-documented methodology. For example, when one of these terror factions that control the north they do roadblocks. They'll pull over a bus. It's the same methodology when they go to a village. They'll pull out all the people. They'll separate Christians from Muslims, men from women. They start by killing all the Christian men first. Then they go to the Muslims and say, either join us or die. And a lot of them end up dying. But the other ones are conscripted at gunpoint, and there's no way out. And then all the women are sold into sex slavery. So everything I've ever said is, yes, they're killing Christians first and peaceful Muslims second. Every Muslim I've seen speak on this publicly, how can I say it? I call for unity. Christians and peaceful Muslims to stand together, and that's always rebuffed. It's like, oh, no. I mean, the ones I've seen publicly, the ones that are given a platform, I suspect, I'm not going to say that they in their heart are complicit. I can't judge that, but they're certainly scared. They're certainly not as the ones I've seen, the ones that are given a platform, the ones that have voices, aren't out there saying this got to stop.
Right.
They're just saying, oh, they're killing Muslims too. Now we move on. Right. They're trying to deflect attention away from it. Universally, that's what I've seen. I haven't seen them all. There might be some voices out there, but what I've seen, and I've been up close and I've seen it, is it's obfuscation and it's deflection. It is not let's stand together and unite. They never that I've seen publicly will agree to stand together to end this. I've never seen it. That's what they're doing.
That's what we've been hoping that they would do soon. And I haven't. That's what I'm trying. That's why I was asking, because I've been trying to find it myself, where the Muslims have come out, and I'm trying to find somebody I can talk to in the Muslim community that sees this.
You must realize the brutality with which they silence critics. You must realize the way they bribe and they promise and they threaten.
Yeah.
They'll do the most unspeakable, horrific things to people who stand in their way. And again, I don't know whether it's a lack of courage or a lack of conviction or something else, but I have not had any Muslim stand up and embrace that. Now, privately, yes, and I'm working on that. I'm working with them. There are good Muslims out there. There are peaceful Muslims out there, and we can coexist. And we can get into the depths of that if you would like, on how that's possible according to their own theology.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a brutal environment there. It's very difficult.
Yeah. And I've noticed it's not just. I just witnessed we all witnessed. A lot of people did. Have saw it the Pahalgam attacks in India, where the 4 terrorists went down and were asking the people questions, and they were killing the men. Are you a Muslim? And if they couldn't quote the Quran scripture of faith, they would shoot them. Mm-hmm. And then if they said they were Muslim, they would make them pull their pants down. Are you circumcised? And if they weren't, they would shoot them right in front of their wives and their children. But they weren't taking the wives and the children, but they would scare them into the submission, apparently, is what they were doing. And that's what it seems like
and shooting is actually a humane wrinkle on this.
Compared to what Nigeria
is the eyewitness accounts of what they do, it's you can't even comprehend a horror movie with the levels of sadism and torture that these animals do to the people that are in their way. It's inconceivable. And you can dig for the videos. They take the videos to recruit people that want to join them.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Yeah, it's horrific. And so we're talking on the surface here about what's happening, and that's good that people know what's happening. This is a systemic, intentional, long-running campaign to bring Sharia law and militant, radical, violent Islam over the nation of Nigeria, and to use it as a launch pad for global Sharia law. If you look at the messaging with which they recruit and with which they speak and with which they promote. So looking at their videos, for example, they start with the American flag going down, the Israel flag going down, the British flag going down, all these international flags going down, and then the black flag rises. It is now the headquarters. Northern Nigeria is now the headquarters for ISIS. It's now ISWAP, Islamic State West African Province. It is the headquarters for a major Al-Qaeda branch. A lot of the global terrorist groups have made it their home, where they have safe haven and they have resources and they have limited Christian blood to sate their bloodlust. And they have been protected there and given a base of operations there to further control Nigeria ultimately. And it's more than $1 trillion in natural resources. And when they have control over that, it will be, we say World War III, but that's putting it lightly. When they have, think of that. What if ISIS, remember ISIS? Al-Qaeda, what if they had access to Nigeria's resources and geography? That's what they're shooting for. It's inconceivable. It must be stopped now.
And that's easy to say it must be stopped now. With terrorism, it's kind of tricky because in most of the world we see terrorism in little spurts, like a couple over there, a cell over here, a cell over there. But doesn't Boko Haram and ISWAP, aren't they like militaries?
So let's go backwards in time a little bit, history here, okay? Centuries ago, a nomadic band of warlords, overlord types, swept out of the Sahara and set up shop in northern Nigeria. The Fulani, they're not indigenous to the region. Well, they have been for centuries now, but they're not from there. They swept in and set up shop as overlords.
Okay.
In the very early part of the 1800s, 1804, I think 1805, a leader emerged, Usman Dan Fodio, who established the Sokoto Caliphate and launched a massive bloody jihad. Same design you're seeing today, jihad conquest. And established one of the, if not the largest pre-colonial African empires in history.
Oh, wow.
Was a radical jihad Muslim caliphate based in northern Nigeria, the Sokoto Caliphate. Now, over time, the recognized boundaries of that have shrunk, but the influence hasn't. The Sokoto Caliphate today, the Sultan, is the ultimate authority. Think of a pope and a king together. Over, I believe it's 108 million Muslims in West Africa. The ultimate final authority. And his word and actions carry the weight that position implies. The current Sultan of Sokoto is a 19th generation descendant of Usman Dan Fodio. So there's always been jihad, and it's always been in this geographic area. Interestingly, this is not a Nigeria-specific problem. It's majority Nigeria, but you're seeing other similar actions take place outside of the nation of Nigeria. It's all 99.8% of the current jihad violence over the last 10 years, 99.8% is within the historic boundaries of the Sokoto Caliphate. That's the correlation. Virtually 100% correlation of all these attacks, regardless of national borders, they're all within the borders of a historic sultanate. So the current sultan, so when I started going to Nigeria in 2010, I've been 16 times. I've been all over the nation. I had very dear friends, literally from the very highest, to former prominent presidents, to the very lowest, people living in shanties that God has given me close personal friendships with. So I know a little bit about what's going on. In 2010, it was known as the only nation on earth where radical Islam was being pushed back.
Wow.
It had stability, it had peace. There were minor attacks here and there, and they always caused national outrage.
Right.
That changed rapidly. So here's what happened, and I'm not making any accusations. I'm not going to connect the dots. I'm just going to establish the known dots and let you connect them as you see fit.
Okay.
The person who is now the Sultan of Sokoto since 2006, I believe, right in that time frame. Before he took the throne, he was a brigadier general in intel for the Nigerian military, stationed in Pakistan with accreditation to Afghanistan. So he had free reign to come and go in Afghanistan, the highest levels of intel. At the same time, U.S. military after action reports, as reported in congressional testimony, say that we were capturing the American, this is when we were fighting in the early 2000s, we were capturing Taliban units, and occasionally there were Nigerian fighters embedded with the Taliban. So I'm not saying that
Una they hear something.
But here is this radical Muslim Sultan to be, who is an intel general.
Guys, mona double tap to like.
At the same time, there are Nigerian fighters fighting for the Taliban. And when he comes home, back to Nigeria and takes the throne. Concurrent to that, historically documented, the local jihad all of a sudden started taking on international tactics. They started using IEDs. They started doing suicide bombs, things that had never been seen before, but that were pioneered.
Kyogene, the fact say the man now Yubo, does it make it less of a truth? Does it make it less of a truth? Because Omo, we are talking lives at stake here. This is Nigerian matter. This all concerns all of us. Me, I don't care about the person right now. Now I want to save the country. Now important to me. So if this man is speaking the truth as he knows it and is able to give us the facts, why would I not listen to him? I don't say yes, we get problem with you. I get it. I understand it. I mean, no, I did there with you. But guess what? We got to listen to what he has to say. My brother, we have to listen. Unfortunately, now this is where your corrupt politicians, your ruthless leader, cowardly Nigerians have gotten us to. What do you want me to do?
In Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Can't leave him out.
Are these coincidences? I don't know. And as an intel general embedded in Pakistan, Afghanistan, one may assume that he had access to the highest levels of intel on what these groups were doing, who was in charge of them, how these mechanics were working. And one may possibly assume that he had personal connections or the opportunity to personally connect with some of these groups. I'm not saying that he did, but that's what that role would entail of intel brigadier general attaché. That's what that role would potentially enable. I'm being very careful with my language here. Brigadier General Intel, Pakistan, Afghanistan, during the height of global jihad in that region. At the same time, Nigerian fighters fighting for global jihad in that region. And when he comes home, those tactics, at about the same time in history, also come to Nigeria. Wow. And now those groups are in Nigeria. And all of it is happening under his domain. And he has not spoken out about any of it to try to stop it. He at one point had a spat with Boko Haram. Boko Haram, there's multiple groups. Boko Haram didn't recognize his authority. So he issued a fatwa against them and cut their recruitment from anywhere from 40 to 60%.
Wow.
So he has power to speak that affects these groups. At the same time, there are other groups, ISWAP, the Fulani, his tribe, the Fulani militant Muslim militia, is now causing the majority of the deaths. And he is the head of that tribe. And he has not issued a fatwa against any of that. All he does is try to deflect and downplay that. Wow. None on the record. I mean, what he does privately is up to him. So what I contend is there's only three options. Either he's complicit, if not behind it, or he's the most ineffective and weak Muslim warlord sultan in history. Because if he wanted it to stop, there would be signs. And if he wanted to stop, there would be fatwas. And if he wanted to stop, we would know. And if he wanted to stop, he could probably have an impact on it. There's no sign that he's tried to stop it. So he's either the architect associated with that, or he's pathetically weak and a fraud, and his authority means nothing. Or there's a third scenario that I can't comprehend. And I'm calling on the International Criminal Court to actually investigate and demand answers to those questions to get to the bottom of it.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what was a local, long-running, 200-year jihad. When this gentleman arrived, about this concurrent with the time of this gentleman coming back from Afghanistan and Pakistan, it now became a global jihad. Now it has designs not just on Nigeria, but it has designs on the world, and that's where we are today.
Well, wow, that yeah, that's
all public record. That's all verifiable. Again, I'm not connecting the dots.
Right. No,
that's not up to me.
Sure,
but the dots are there.
But somebody has to have these dots connected. Somebody has to know what's going on here. And what about ECOWAS?
Look, you're talking, first of all, the blood oaths that suppress it. This thing is buried in blood oaths. It's buried in brutality, and it's buried in mountains of illicit wealth. It's buried in their tribal identity, and it's buried in mass graves.
Yeah.
There is, without the use of force, I don't believe anybody will ever get to the bottom of it. They don't care about sanctions. Ultimately, I mean, that might be an inconvenience. Mm-hmm. They don't care about what designation the U.S. government gives them. The U.S. government's going to fall anyway someday, they think.
Yeah.
And they'll just pivot to China or Russia. Who do you think's buying these illicit minerals? It's got to be one of them. The evidence points to China buying a lot of them. But again, to investigate that would likely mean death at this point until there's extreme international attention. So that architecture is unknowable in the current regime. That's just the reality of it.
That's that's really concerning for Nigeria because Nigeria is prominently Christian people.
It's about half and half, but you have to understand this. A little more history here. Nigeria was never a British colony. Nigeria was an extraction corporation. It was set up as a Nigerian corporation for extraction. And the British use a strategy called indirect rule, rule by proxy, basically. The British, there was never a Nigeria on the map. There was this region, there was this region, and there was this region, basically north and south. Okay? The south being predominantly Christian, being modern. The southern Nigerians were the ones the British would use, send to school in Britain, and they ran the bureaucracy. They were the friendly ones. They were the ones they could work with, but they were irrepressible. The ones in the north were completely under the totalitarian control of the imams. So the British they kept political control to the north while they extracted the human resources and intellect of the south. That's the history. When they got their independence in 1960, Britain drew a map that lumped these two together. At the time, the minerals in the north really had no known value. It was just barren wasteland, and the oil in the south, they set it up so that they could continue their control through the north of the entire nation. And they created the nation of Nigeria. If you look at their history, remember the movie Lawrence of Arabia?
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end, so he's doing the same thing I'm doing here. Nigeria's doing it in the Middle East. And they go to the Yalta conference where they've ended World War I and they're going to set up the national boundaries. And he's screaming, don't do it. These people, if you draw the map this way, they're always going to fight each other. They will never be, but that's the design of the British.
Wow.
They don't want them to be free. They don't want them to rise up. They don't want them to have true independence because that'll be the end of their extraction.
Right.
So the British set them up, I believe, that they set them up to fail whether intentionally or not.
Right.
And the mechanics of the federal system there are skewed entirely to keep northern control. Their presidential villa, which is like our White House, was built with 2 mosques and no Christian chapel.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's just the reality of it. And so in the late 60s, when they got their independence, there was, unrest. It went back and forth. Ultimately, the people of the South said, we can't do this. We didn't choose this. This isn't right. There's no fit here. We don't owe these people anything. We have nothing in common with these people. And they're trying to kill us, loot us. And the people of the South, at that time, that region is documented to being the fastest growing economic region on Earth for 10 years running.
Wow.
They called it Biafra. They declared independence, and the British backed the North. The British enabled and physically, actually hands-on enabled a blockade that starved up to 2 million men, women, and children to death. The British did that.
Wow.
To put down the Biafran Revolution and total subjugation of the South, with the control being in the North. That is what the British did. They starved millions of Nigerian children to death to keep control in the hands of the North. That is historical fact.
Wow. So that's probably one of the reasons.
It was an extraction corporation.
And you wonder why the Africans want them out.
If left to their devices, without international meddling, I believe it would be an enormously prosperous nation. They value education. They're so bright. They're so entrepreneurial. Amazing people that there's no reason they can't process their own minerals and create things. They now have a car manufacturer that is all 100% Nigerian made. I mean, they have the ability to become a premier nation on Earth. And I think once this is resolved, it would be a good thing for the world. I've begged Nigerians to send missionaries to the United States many times.
Right.
The character that made America great is rare here now. It's not rare there.
Wow.
But they've got this cancer that must be eradicated.
Yeah. But you look at what's going on right now, and apparently it's been going on for a long time in Africa, which is a Christian genocide. Like 40, 50 people a day are dying?
They've taken the number and divided it by the number of days of the year, so it's 30-something a day. But it's more like one village today and another village in a few days. It's not. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how it flows, but over 7,000 this year already.
So we look at 7,000 in 1 year. So we're looking at 6 of October 7th happening in 1 year.
Uh-huh.
And you would think, look what Netanyahu did with one attack. So if this happens 6 times in a government in one country, and that country isn't going nuts and bombarding the people that are doing this, what gives? Because it sounds like it's so corrupt. The system maybe is so corrupt because a government's supposed to be protecting its people. This is like 9/11 every year, or even, So
I'm calling on international criminal court charges to be filed today against the current government regime of Nigeria for genocide. Now, not yet on the basis of what's happening in the north. I've been in the room with their top mullahs recently, and I've heard their arguments, and they're smart people, and they're legal. And O.J. Simpson got off. Okay, I mean, you can debate things that are distant and buried, right?
Right.
But what you can't debate is this government's denial and treatment of the internally displaced, the displaced generation, and by historical legal precedent, what they are doing to the internally displaced counts as genocide, and it is provable today. So separating it, additional charges can be added if and when we get access to the mass graves and the records and the financials and all that stuff to uncover what's happening in the north. But what's happening everywhere else, the treatment, denial, the grinding down, the suppression of millions of internally displaced eyewitnesses is genocide by international standard, and other leaders have been prosecuted under that, and I'm calling on that today. The Nigerian government is 100% provably today complicit in genocide due to its treatment of the internally displaced.
Wow.
Northern stuff notwithstanding.
Wow.
And they can't answer that. There is no defense. They are guilty as they stand. The smoking guns, millions of smoking guns are all over the nation, and there is no denying it's been a campaign of suppression, lies that even the Nigerian people don't know about. The press, there is no free press, very, very little free press there. And all of the media are house organs for the government, to one extent or another, out of fear or out of bribery or out of seeking favor.
Sure.
I did a press conference on a grounds, we did a groundbreaking for a school in an IDP camp in Abuja, in the capital. And I spoke about it. When it came out in the newspaper, our organization, which is dedicated to serving internally displaced people, all of a sudden, my words were changed to be less fortunate people in rural communities. They took out IDP camps and put rural communities. We're building a school in a rural community. Sterilized, doublespeak. They're called homeless, they're called bums, they're called criminals. They bulldoze these camps. The people literally living next door to these camps don't know that those are innocent victims. Wow. They don't know. And so that's why I think my report was so seismic. Not because it wasn't the obvious truth, but because most Nigerians had had that truth suppressed for so long.
Wow. I saw that. I saw one of your interviews with a woman in one of those camps. I was watching on your channel, which everybody needs to go to, and I'll have all the information down below. And I was like, when she was talking about how she was running from Boko Haram over here, then to go into Cameroon, couldn't go there, they were there, and running over here, and finding herself where you had her, or where they were, where you were interviewing her in that camp. It looked like a pretty big city, so it couldn't have been a to what's happening to these people and why they're there. But it was heartbreaking. And what couldn't...
I've been working to collect testimonials. I posted one just the other day, and we've gotten many. I'm going to be, and I hope, and I've challenged Nigerian, especially the youth, they're so amazing, to go out and record more. Walk next door, find an IDP, ask their story, and let's post it.
There you go.
But there's one, it's a young man, he's 17, he looks younger because he has sickle cell anemia. That's anybody, well, how is he 17? Well, that's why. But notwithstanding, his testimonial 10 years prior, when he was 6 years old, was when they came to his village and killed all these people. And he saw it all happen. They were having to tiptoe through the bodies to get back to their farm. 6 years old. And they tried to stay, they tried to farm. They didn't have any tap water, they had to use well water. And so the terrorists came, killed a bunch of people, and dumped the bodies in their well. And the 6-year-old boy said they had to drink water with blood mixed in it.
Oh my God.
Until they finally were able to get out. A 6-year-old child, 10 years later, you know what he wants to do? He wants to be a doctor and go back and help people.
Wow.
Because of the loving intervention that was given to him. Without that loving intervention, now there's a generation of millions of Nigerian youth that are going to grow up with, studies show, 50 to 60% chance of being radicalized.
Wow.
That's part of what this is about. It's about causing a displaced generation.
Okay, I hear you. Thank you, Tracy. Hey, Tado, welcome. Good to see you, sis.
Some prophecy here.
Lovely to see you.
I believe this generation of Nigerian children is living as refugees for the same reason Jesus did. The enemy knows their worth and would just as soon kill a generation of them like Herod did, than to see their worth be materialized. This is about the youth. This is about this displaced generation, and it's about intervening before it's too late. Imagine millions of youth, 60% radical, with the control over these resources. It literally is Armageddon if we ever get to that point. And we're on the cusp of that. This is the battle of our century.
Wow.
Nothing heavy there.
It's like, whoa, okay. Wasn't expecting all that. This is I mean, when I guess we're looking at your faith has become a death sentence for these people. It's
exactly, Lozondota.
Especially half of
Exactly.
them, out of, you said 230
He's
million
saying the
people.
truth on the ground.
Half of them are
That's
Christian.
it.
That's a
You
that's a
know?
big, that's a lot of people there for massacre waiting. I mean,
Well, here's the thing. They're shrewd, and I don't believe their design is to kill all the Christians. And then, yeah, they want their caliphate territory that way, and they're working to expand it. But the South is their garden, and they want to be able to go pick from it. And if they kill all the gardeners, they know that they won't have. So what they're doing is they're taxing the Christians. They're saying you're gonna give to us. You're gonna do it our way, or we're gonna kill you. But they know they need them to be the gardeners of these resources and of their economy, so they can then continue to extract from it like the parasites that they are.
like most major Islamic states do.
Yeah.
So
they they're not out to kill all the Christians in Nigeria. Only only the ones that get in their way, and then subjugate the rest.
Right. Kest. Wow. So I know that you have organizations that actually help these people.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Ours, to be honest, is like I said, I'm not a wealthy man, and it's just been my passion and my sacrifice. It's cost everything I've got, and we have people giving $100 a month or $200 a month, and with that, we're able to reach about 600 kids with daily high quality education. We can't feed them all, and sometimes they come hungry. We're scratching the surface, and we're doing our best. There are a lot of groups out there doing that. A lot of them bigger and better funded than us. It's not nearly enough, but and see here. So I've been working. Let me back up a little bit. My first trip to Nigeria, 2010, been 16 times, and for the first 9 years, it was evangelism, and it was adventurous and it was fun to an extent. I mean, it was. We would travel around speaking in churches. They'd have us on posters and billboards, and and go. We were on a tour of the nation. I organized a team. There was 6 of us, and the year that I founded, won't get into the backstory, but we finally founded our own organization, Africa Arise, and we were doing a speaking tour to evangelize. And our biggest event was scheduled for Abuja, which is the capital, modern city, about 3.5 million people, established in the 70s, so it's new, it's modern, geographic center of the nation. National Mosque and the National Christian Center are on the same stretch of road, and they're the exact same height in the middle of town. So it's always been this central thing. Our biggest event of this tour in 2019, my covenant brother, a mighty man of God, Pastor Jed DeGrace, organized 21 churches to come together for a big event. It was big. He put everything he had into it, everything, not just financially, but credibility, reputation, everything. And he had done a good job. So we were doing this tour, ended up back in Abuja, the day of the event, where team is dressed in the vehicle with the air conditioner running, excited, getting ready to head to this event. Pastor Jed, this mighty man of God, comes out and he knocks on the car window and he pulls me out and he says, and he's ashen, a black guy can get white pretty quick when they've seen something, Yeah. Dear brother, my dearest friend in the world, most respected man in my life. He knocked on the window, pulled me out, and he said, Mike, you can't go. I can't take you. And I know what it ended up costing. It cost him everything, including he had to live in hiding for a while because he had death threats. But he said, I can't take you. I've been in prayer, and the Spirit had put a check in my spirit, and you're in danger. I'm not supposed to take you. Found out later that day the venue was shot up and 2 people were killed. They were waiting for us. His spiritual discernment saved our lives. But I said, okay, I don't know how to get there without you. So what are we going to do? He said, let's go visit an IDP camp. I didn't know what it meant. Never heard the term. Ends up, I didn't know this until very recently. He didn't know where there was one. He had heard there was IDP camps. He didn't know. He had to stop and ask for directions. And he lives.
What year was this again?
2019.
2019. Wow.
And we ended up driving down this. Abuja has nice highways, glass buildings, nice cars. It's prosperous. Ended up going down this highway in the middle of town, turning down this dirt trail, going a little ways into this. Nothing can prepare you, a hellhole. Homemade shanties, sewage ditches, and people. But the children ran up and were so excited to see us. Gave me 5, just these bright, beautiful, brilliant children stuck in this hellhole. And again, I thought this was mapped out. I thought Dad was being a tour guide, but it was the Holy Spirit leading both of us. We walked in, the team stayed there high-fiving with the kids and all that, and walk in and walk straight to Miss Hannah and that's the story, the video you saw. That was us just walking in. This Holy Spirit led us straight to her. And I promised then and there to tell her story, and I've spent the last 6 years doing nothing but trying to do that. I've been all over the country. I've been to communities that have been, the Bocos, the community that was hit by the Christmas massacre. I was there just a couple months later. In fact, the ground I stood on, there have been some students gunned down literally on that spot just 1 week prior that I was there. I've been all over the country, from the highest offices, sitting in the living room of President Goodluck Jonathan. And he's the one that leaned in and said, it's the minerals, it's the blood minerals, you need to look into that. He's a revered statesman, former president.
Yeah.
From there all the way down to, Miss Hannah Shanty, and God has embedded me in this with a camera.
Wow.
And so we're producing a film right now. A month ago, I was doing everything I could to jump up and down and scream to get people to pay attention. I never thought I'd say this in my life, but thank God for Bill Maher.
Yeah.
The reason we're talking about this now is because of Bill Maher.
Wow.
And I hope he gets an award for that. He will have, I don't know that we'd be good friends, but, and I pray for his soul. I do.
Yeah, me too.
But he was used by God to shine a light on this, that no conservative, no Christian, because we've been trying to do that for years.
Yeah.
It could get this attention, but when a liberal atheist says it,
yep,
all of a sudden, I'll take it. Thank God. Thank God for that, man.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
okay.
I know the interview you're
Just,
talking about.
he
Said that.
He's not stopping. He's banging that drum.
Really?
I hear say the federal government don't bow to pressure. They want deport Nnamdi Kanu to Kenya. And I see that news.
How conspiratorial do you want to get here? I mean, don't throw it out.
Go for it.
I'm a how can I say this? I've studied rhetoric, propaganda, all that for my entire life. And there's something about talking points. When people come out and start using the same exact language across the board, then there's an intelligent design.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have Ted Cruz and Bill Maher, opposite ends of the spectrum, come out at virtually the same time saying the same things, what connection?
Last question.
Oh, yeah.
I suspect this not that the truth hasn't been, but the timing of the elevation of this truth may well have been an effort to deflect attention from Gaza. I don't know that as a fact, but there's not a lot of coincidences like that in this world, and that's the only common denominator I see, and it makes sense. Now, that said, I'll take it. Thank God if that's the case.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
But there's always higher chess players.
Oh yeah.
And that's ultimately it was God, but he used, I think, them, and I think he used Bill Maher to shine this light at this time. And I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take anything we can get, especially if it's going to help those people over there come out of something, at least exposed it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, I want to thank you. And once again, we're going to put all of your information below. And this is, you have Africa Arise as well, right? And people can give to that. And that goes.
So you guys hear it, right? So this is what is going on. Meanwhile, they are saying, I don't know how true this is. I don't know if you guys have heard it. They said they are planning to repatriate Nnamdi Kanu back to Kenya. Hey, Omo. Everybody in Nigeria ought to imbibe their fiery spirit of Nnamdi Kanu. It is left to be seen what will happen 2027, whether Tinubu will buckle. What the rumor that I'm hearing is that they are afraid. That is why this man is replacing all the head of services, rumors about coup with Yoruba people, so that he's Yoruba loyalists. Let me not say Yoruba people. He's loyalists, okay? And more demolishing is going on in Lagos and especially Igbo properties. Ew. One day we go sit down, we go talk this matter. E never reach time. We go sit down. Cameroon is still at it. Cameroon is not letting up. They are saying they go nowhere. They are saying we must collect our country back. They are not backing down. Okay? Now, in Tanzania, the police have now imposed curfew because there's been a protest that has been tense. Okay, the polling day, especially the day where they're supposed to vote, It has been tense with a lot of unrest in several parts of the country. Internet services have been shut down in Tanzania. Okay, so that is what is going on right now. Tanzania, Cameroon, they are not giving up. They are going in. I don't know whether Madagascar won't see they go on. Meanwhile, let's not forget about our Sudanese brothers and sisters that have been they hunt them like say na animal they hunt for bush. Hey, God abeg, I don't know say that this now like this world be oh. I don't know say this world be like this oh. God damn, this world is evil. I'm telling you people. Nigerians are not supposed to fold their hands. Nigerians, they see wetin dey happen all over the world. That see the tax when they don't bring up now, people suppose fall out. Everything when this man just they bring about, people they swallow and they take am. How much can you take? How much can you take? Hey, anyway, my people, let me round it up here because I actually went to Voice of the People and it be like say they are going to talk about that now. Oh, fantastic. So I'm going to round this up, guys, and maybe start a new one so we can listen to it together and share our views. Thank you all so much for joining me. I think Sudan, whether not Sudan, and I don't even know. I know, to be honest, I don't know. I have to confirm. I don't say Sudan North and South Day. I have to confirm. I don't want to say what I don't know. Part of Sudan, Sha. I know say one part break away. I think the Christian part break away. And at black people that they hunt to. It's not like black people. Anyway, guys, let's go to Voice of the People. We'll go jam for there. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I appreciate it.